All right, one last thing that I'd like to cover when it comes to conjugating in the present subjunctive. Now, just like we did when we did commands, you are occasionally going to come across verbs like car, gar, and sar. Car, gar, sar. Being a verb like sacar ends with car, car, and jugar ends in gar, gar. Almorzar ends in zar. So those verbs are all going to require a spell change. And this is just to preserve the sound, because if we had a C, E, or if this were a C right there, that would be pronounced sase. Cool word, but that's just not how you do it. So we have to change that C to QU to preserve that hard C sound, that K, that K sound. So sake, sacar, we want to preserve that K sound. Jugar, without that U right there, this would be juegue. And we got to preserve it, so we add that U to keep that hard G, that G. Jugar, we want to keep that G, so we do that. This one's a little bit different. It's more about the Spanish pronunciation, as in this, the way they pronounce it in Spain. Almorzar, to preserve, if you had this, if you change this is about the consistency with the written language. There we don't have a ZE combination, so they change it to a C to be consistent. So when we're conjugating these, what we learned in the command form, and you guys learned them in the preterite before, a lot of times it wasn't as complicated because you had to remember to do it in the preterite yo form. But here in the present subjunctive, you're actually going to do it in every form. So we have the verb sacar. There's an example below. When you conjugate in the yo form, you have to change the C to QU. And we would normally have this, and then add the opposite ending. That does not work in Spanish. And I'm sorry, with this E ending. So we change the C to QU. We are also going to do that in the to form. Do that in the el, ello, usted form. We are even going to do it in nosotros. And hopefully you're seeing the pattern here. We're going to do it in the vosotros. And we're doing the ellos, ellas, and ustedes. The same thing is true. Now I'll do one more here with jugar. As you'll notice, not only is jugar, it becomes juego, so it has a stem change, and it's in the boot, so we keep that stem change for this AR verb. Traptio, and you add the opposite ending, which would be ES. Again, we know that's a problem having this combination, so we put the U there. So yeah, this is a stem changer and a spell changer in most forms. Oh, excuse me, I put the to form there. So here's the to form. So we got a stem change and a spell change in each of those conjugations. However, when we get to nosotros, just to review back from our previous rule, you do not stem change in nosotros for AR verbs. Nor do you do it for ER verbs. You only do it for IR verbs. And this is not one of those. So we are not going to stem change, but we are going to spell change. So we add that U. There's our ending. And then, again, here, we shouldn't have a stem change because we're in nosotros. So we are going to have a spell change. So we put the U there. And we will have a stem change here because this is still that last conjugation of the boot, and a spell change. So stem change and a spell change for the boot with juego, or juegue, juegues, juegue, y jueguen. But no stem change, but still a spell change for juguemos and jugues.